versus Space Soldiers, which was an absolutely amazing fight from both sides, which they eventually won Virtus Pro. So let's see if they can do one, well, just as good here in E-League. Envy starting on the attacking side, everyone over towards the A bomb site, apart from Happy. Snack's on the flank already, but can his team rotate in time? Only Neo's moving over at the moment.
Oh no, Envy, they actually sent a whole skirmish of people to hunt down Snacks, and he's now rotated over. We've never seen anything like this, not in the pistol round. This is way out of bounds. Snacks should have been locked in over at long, and they should have been able to stab in the back with 3 members. Now Happy is on his own flanking mission. I pity whoever has to try and analyze this round, because this is officially out of control.
But now Happy's becoming a big player. You can see his position here, but will he see the play to his left? Distracted by the right. That Snack's getting a nice headshot there. 5 versus 3. Talk about timing. Still in control of the bomb, but they don't have much control of anything else. Like Lemmings going off the side of a cliff. RPK finally getting an opening kill for his team, but 4 versus 2, what can he do really from this point onwards?
I think Envy are completely confused. Imagine the call when Snacks is the one who gets that kill on Happy after being over on long. I mean, this is outrageous. XMS is going to be running onto the bomb site with about 35 seconds left and trying to look for the opening. He's actually going to get it, and it could be a second. If you got Neo, then we would have had a real round on our hands. Now it's RPK. Does pick up the 1, and he's in it for the ace clutch. Reloading right as Bialy comes up the ramp, and it will be Virtus Pro winning the round. I mean, I don't even want to try and think about how that round played out.
Yeah, I mean, Envy made a fight of it towards the end, but perhaps they were too far back already in that 4 versus 2 situation. But I couldn't really pick I couldn't pick a winner for this match. I think it's pretty wide open at the moment. Yeah. But winning the CT pistol, that's definitely a good start for the Polish side. Pasha going to be picking up a Mag 7 straight away, so I would expect him to be near the crack in the wall or around the drop zone, maybe even rotating between the 2. 3 plays towards the A site. Snacks dropping an M4 very quickly.
Easy for them to pick up. No one there to stop that from happening. It's only armor on 4 of their players, and 3 of them have head armor there on the Envy side. So it's pretty wide open right now. Pasha wants to take a fight versus Happy. Got to be very careful about that. Happy absolutely known for being good with the deal. Happy's
got to be careful as well, however. He is just lurking, showing presence, not giving the game away for Envy, so he doesn't want to go down, and there's no more presence there. But Taz, though, spotting the bomb around long, and that's going to allow his team to rotate. Full rotation coming in. Happy still far behind his team. They've got good positioning around the A side. The bomb should be able to go down.
So RPK with an important kill. Bialy will follow it up. Pasha moving in, Mag 7 close range. He had to hit that first shot, and Bialy's alone. He does avoid the crossfire for a second, but Scream actually being proactive and not sort of waiting behind. So that's a pretty good play from his point of view. And Envy will win the round right back after a bit of a rocky start. Now it's Virtus Pro that are in some trouble here.
Yeah, and if Envy can have a successful 3rd round here, it might even be a better situation than winning the pistol. Virtus Pro on the back foot, going to go for the... It's not a full force buy yet, but it probably is going to eventually be. Or perhaps not. So we've got a few players with 1,000 left in the bank and some with 500. So we'll see how that proceeds. It seems the main play here is the high explosive grenades. 4 players towards the plateau. But you'd expect them to hold these grenades for a long time, because in a round like this, you'd expect maybe 1 player to be lurking, but you're not going to... I mean, some rounds you would go for a fast engagement, but I think the vast majority of the time it will be a slow approach from Envy.
Yeah, when you've got all these grenades picked up, you're looking for some sort of trigger to actually throw them, because if you just do it blind, it's sort of a wasted investment. So I appreciate the fact that they're waiting around for the moment and aren't really putting too much effort into it. And in the meanwhile, Envy, you've got to look at their point of view too. They're not quite sure what's happening on the other side, but they're spreading out quite far and trying to see if they can discover any information. They've cleared out long over at A. They're down and dropped. They're getting some good reads right now. Grenade barrage eventually is going to fall pretty flat. Fireworks, all for nothing.
Yeah, Patch has gone down. There was a grenade on his body, but Taz and Snacks are nowhere near. And I like the fact that Virtus Pro didn't go for a full buy. They've gone for a calculated risk instead, because the problem with a full buy after losing this round is when you come in for your, a force buy, when you come in for your full buy, you will often be lacking in some utility, which makes it harder for you to defend and win that all-important round. And on some particular maps, it's more critical than others, and you can be really on the back foot if you fail there. So the extra money they've left in the bank will help them in the rounds to come.
Yeah, and that's something where a lot of teams seem to actually go the other way, where they will keep forcing up, they'll keep buying in around like this, and we see it backfire a lot, especially on the CT side, especially on Cobblestone. So I'm actually with you on this one. I think it might have been a smart move for VP not to go down that route, because we've seen it fail so miserably in the last months. Maybe this is gonna have a different outcome. A great round for Happy though. All those kills with the UMP, the kill bonus really working out in his favor. He's up to almost 7,000 at the beginning of this round, so that's not bad.
Yeah, that is nice. And he's got a great opportunity to build on that in this round as well. They know that at most they're expecting P250s from Virtus.pro in this round, so there's not much to be scared of. And he can, along with RPK with the Mac-10 actually, even more so RPK can just run in and cause havoc. So P250 is being picked up by 4 of the 5 players. Pasha with the USP would suggest that he's going to be buying a sniper rifle sooner rather than later. I do wonder if Virtus.pro, with the extra utility they will have in the next round, will... interestingly, Snacks has gone for full armor. Did he save that from the previous round?
He did. He
Okay.
managed to save it.
Cool, that makes sense. Yeah, I do wonder if we're going to see some aggressive like smokes on the plateau area to try and stop Envy from having that early presence that Happy would like to have.
Yeah, I hope they do. It's actually one of the things that I really like about Virtus.pro on this map, but there's been versions of this team where they don't do it, and then there's been some where they do, and it seems to be sort of very much based on how happy Pasha's feeling about it, like how aggressive he's willing to be. Snacks tends to be on the other side, but yeah, look for Pasha maybe to be the one to do it. Flashbang setup, Happy being put into some pressure here. It's RPK to follow with a great triple mode down to the Mac-10, taking out Bialy, Taz, and Neo, so that leaves just 2. They're going to get the 1 kill in, and a second 2 for Snacks. That's pretty good, saving the armor, getting those 2 kills.
I really feel like they should have killed Happy there when he was throwing those grenades. They heard the grenade being primed and thrown, which is why they started to push, but obviously they don't know if someone's holding an angle for him with a rifle while he does that, which is entirely plausible, but in this round, how much can you really expect to get out of it? I mean, they may have wanted to wait for close quarters, wait for him to push and try and get that close shot to the head, but they did go for a peak, so I think they should have fully committed there, and the first player should have run a bit further, so the second player could also face. But there we go. They're on the buy round now, Virtus.pro, and indeed Pasha is on the sniper rifle, so we'll see if any aggressive smokes are coming in from the Virtus.pro side.
So far, a lot of grenades and a lot of speed behind this push. Envy right onto the bomb site. Neo's already down. Bialy with a great double follow-up, and Pasha finding the angle in spite of the smokes and the grenades to get the kill on XMS. So Happy and Scream are left 2 versus 4, but this explosive round coming out of Envy has been stopped, at least for a moment. There's a good shot from Scream, tapping away as he's used to. Happy with a long spray to take down Snacks, and a second kill to take down Pasha. And now it's all on Taz. He's already been heard, definitely. Scream knows it. He's going to be dropped with the bomb, so now it's a one-on-one. Happy versus Taz. It's Captain versus Captain here, and Taz is waiting for it. Happy just going to show his face, and now he's behind the box. Taz hiding in the corner, and there's the spray, and Taz to save the day. Virtus.pro will win the round. It's very expensive, and I think he just barely saves the AWP, but that's such an aggressive round from the French. Yeah, they were in the site really, really quickly, and once Virtus.pro got their first 3 kills in, it was really awkward for Pasha and I think it was Barley right by the rock, because Barley had an angle to cover Pasha while Pasha looked towards the drop zone. But the problem is if Barley goes down, Pasha's not in a position to trade at close range with the AWP. It's not really the most ideal situation, so it was super awkward for them. But they managed to take it. But a very expensive round for both sides, but big focus is on Virtus.pro. Envy have built their cash in those previous rounds, so now they have an opportunity to break Virtus.pro, reset their economy as well, and they could really... They could try and find like a 7-2 scoreline if they can win this round. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Already with the aggression again, forcing Neo out with the Molotov, and then XMS jumping right in his face. Happy to take down Snacks, and they've got Bialy cornered. He could never get out of that one. So alone on the bomb side is Pasha, while Taz is on the other side, and he's about to be in a lot of trouble. The entire team of Envy have taken 23 damage and killed 4 players now. 33 damage, in fact. I mean, this is a really high pace. I feel like when you set this pace really high on the T side early in the game, you always risk that if it doesn't work, you sort of run out of steam, and then the other side can have a really good half. But when it's working like it is now, you're doing everything right. I mean, Virtus.pro are going to be out of money, and Envy are going to be just in a great position. So I'd say it's a bit of a risk doing it, but when it pays off like this, it's wonderful to see it. Leg shot as well. Probably will be the death of... oh, 2 health, come on.
Missed a player by the rock. You do, I think there's an added advantage for the fast plays from Envy when Virtus.pro have an IGL crisis and no one really wants to do it or can do it and have the whole team on board. You know, when you've just changed your in-game leader, making these really fast calls and communicating with the new IGL may be problematic when you're trying to communicate things so quickly in the very early stages of a round. I'm sure they will change up the pace a bit later on, but for now, it is an anti-eco round. They have been successful in breaking the buy of Virtus.pro immediately. Just a pistol round and that buy round won by Virtus.pro. This is worst case scenario for the Poles early on here on Cobblestone.
Yeah, they're not going to be excited at all. Snacks looking for a shot at the top of the smoke down in middle. But he has got a deagle. I think Snacks is one of the few sort of very dynamic players that's on Virtus.pro in terms of making plays and sort of looking for fights and trying to see if he could wedge his way in, but he can't really cover the whole map. And on the other side, so far Neo and Pasha have been very defensive on the plateau. Envyus used great grenades to try and sort of push them back, but they haven't challenged them either. And you can do that. I mean, if they put the smoke up towards the broken wall or the Molotov or anything like that, I mean, you can still try and fight around it if you really want to.
Virtus.pro are focusing the forces towards the A site. They've attracted some attention with that deagle of Snacks, and now the entire team will move into A as Envy ready themselves for what appears to be a split. Happy and RPK around the drop zone, but indeed all the Poles are here, cutting the noise, waiting for Envy to fall into a trap. But Envy seem to have a read as to what is going on, and now they're rotating back towards the bomb site, as is Snacks. So both these teams trying to stay one step ahead of the other, but time is running out for the French.
Happy he heard those steps, and now they definitely know it's a good kill for Taz. Get a bit of a refrag in, but they have the information just based on the audio. I think that was the big drop play there. Taz will get the headshot on RPK. And now the bomb is being planted. Taz running in. That's a great kill, taking down the bomb plant.
14 seconds. Pasha, is he going to commit to stopping the bomb plant? Envy will read that as well, so maybe he'll try to play against that, but these choke points are so tight. Scream's trying to cover both of them at the same time while the bomb's going down, and he will make it back to the smoke as Pasha finally emerges. Close one for Envy, but as long as they keep winning these rounds, they have so many advantages, doesn't even matter that much that they lost 3 players. Yeah,
that got very close, and I mean, they had the perfect read, didn't they? And it was because of the double drop play. They simply heard the players rotating out of B, and they heard them rotating back again. So they had a very good idea what was going on there. Not bad at all. Not every day that we get to see that sort of play make a difference, I feel like. 5-2 as a scoreline, moving into the 8th round, and Envy, they're just, I mean, they're not particularly rich. 2 of their players are, but as you said, it doesn't matter as long as they're winning the rounds. They're doing a good job at the moment.
Yeah, and they're facing pistols once more, so despite losing about $15,000 in that previous round, this is a perfect time to build that straight back up again. Moving towards the A side in the numbers, just clearing the initial real estate. Barley and Taz at the back of A, but Neo's made his way forward and he's picked up a weapon, but surely that will spur Envy towards the A site, or will it?
Yeah, you would think it should, because you've pretty much been caught. Like, right now, Virtus.pro know that nothing else is happening in those B hallways. And maybe if there had been less time, if we had been down to 40 seconds, they would have pushed, but they did have over a minute, so...
Yeah, but that flank might also tell them that everyone else is towards the other side, because as he's gaining information, it's like, what would you do in that situation, right? Envy would do exactly the same. Neo's moving forward, put everybody else in the other area. 1 minute on the clock, and we've got 2 players per site for the CT side. Barley around the drop, so as time passes, there are less players to fight against, but Neo will cut the numbers of Envy as well.
He's going to fall back to the chicken coop, and RPK has a Molotov, but he's in the wrong place to throw it accurately. It's not always easy to sort of stand out in the open with it where he is. Going to be picking up a great kill there on Pasha, trying to sneak in behind. There's the long-range spray, and RPK will get the job done with the AK. A 3rd kill for him, and that pretty much locks down the round here in favor of Envy. It's great to see RPK get into the action early on here. Taz in the 1 versus 3, so looked like Neo maybe could have pulled that round back in their favor.
Yeah, I did wonder if he would just stay hidden for a bit longer and try to pick off a player as he moves into position to plant, but how does he know what the best timing is when he's hiding out, right? He doesn't really know. But again, 2 players picked off, but again, it doesn't really matter if your team is called Envyus. Taz may be rotating to try and pick up a weapon or pick off some more players, but he is being waited for. RPK with an AWP, don't see that every day.
No, but if it works for the quad kill there, he's up to 13 and just 5 deaths, so that's a pretty good job on his part alone. 6 and 2 here, sorry, for Virtus.pro. They've gone with the double orb setup, so when all else fails, I guess just double up on the firepower, get more of that on the board.
Just a quick note, we are still on the old patch before the P250 and Glock were changed, purely because these teams were away last week, so they wouldn't have necessarily had time to adjust to the changes in time for this tournament. So I think from next week, it will be current patch. And indeed, 2 snipers for the Virtus.pro side, a lack of grenades for them. On some maps, it may matter a bit more, because your AWPers will often be throwing flashes on a CT side for their teammates, but Cobblestone, I think you're more likely to just be holding your angles because of the power to burst onto the sites.
Here are all the grenades. XMS doing a fine job at the moment. Got to be careful. He gets counter-flashed, and Bialy with one important pick-off. He needs the next, though, and he actually goes for the fight. Neil's picked up 2. A happy coming out of drop to get the double kill. Now leaves it equal at the moment here. Taz waiting, but a flashbang is perfect to take him down. Snacks with the crossfire, and suddenly it's a one-on-one. Snacks versus Sixer.
AWP apiece. Sixer will get some sound cues from Snacks around the drop, but Snacks doesn't know where Sixer is. Another jump will give more info away, and that's why Sixer is looking at the wall. He's just using the directional sound to figure out where Snacks is, where he might be going. Some people will put one ear to figure out the direction. Some people will use both. By the way, Snacks has positioned himself towards the A site, and that's exactly where Six is going. Now it's Six's turn to run, and Snacks has got the advantage with an AK and the sound. The plant comes in. Oh, he's going for the knife. Snacks, you are dirt McGirt. Considering the stakes, that is a massive value play and absolutely disgusting.
I mean, what could you say about that? Just completely outread. And we were even talking about how Sixer had the advantage with the sound cue.
What if he's facing the other way, though?
Yeah,
if Six is facing the other way, then he's got time to pull out the AWP, run backwards, and shoot him in the face. That's the reality.
Yeah, it could have got much worse, I think. It is, I guess, just all based on confidence there. So no bomb plant, no round win, and Envy have to use a lot of their bank to rebuy in this round, everything that they have almost. So what an interesting round. I mean, it was actually a great execute for Envy. They were so quick. It's not that just the setup we all know, but they did it so quickly. They were in position almost immediately. It was as closest to like an executed rush as you can probably get.
Important round for Virtus.pro. This is the comeback round if they can prove successful on it. Ooh, Snacks with a lovely snap onto Scream. It's a great opening kill in this round. 1 minute 20 for the Poles to push further forward, but also an important round for Envy. This could be a 9-3 round should they be able to win this round. A nice bait there, but he gets tagged happy and doesn't get anything in return.
It's a good read from Envy that Snacks hadn't gone back, because that would be the normal play. You get that kind of pick off, you run back with the AWP. You don't want to fight it again, but Snacks very aggressive, jumping through the smoke. It's XMS and not able to check the corner. Taz is waiting, and Happy and Sixer now. Very hard to fight your way out of this position. All you need to do is get some kills, make sure some of those rifles are out of the hands of the VP players, which doesn't really seem to be happening. Sixer, one chance here. It's a good flick on to Taz at least.
If Taz had got that kill, that would have been the 4th UMP kill in this round for Virtus.pro, who desperately need rounds, consecutive rounds, and money. So that is something important to note for the rounds to come. But it seems that Sixer will try to hold on to the sniper rifle, but Neo isn't having any of it. Taking him down with the M4. They've got 2 snipers already, no need to collect another one. So Virtus.pro may have just broken the money of Team Envy, who are on their second round loss, but one player on $6,000, the rest around 3,000. So Envy have a decision to make. Do they eco and buy next round, or do they try and force it up before the money gets too great for Virtus.pro?
Yeah, and I mean some teams. I mean, we've seen obviously some of the Brazilian teams, right? Will be quite happy to buy in these situations, and there are definitely others that are a bit more conservative. I would have thought maybe this would have been one of the teams that would have just gone for it. They seem to start with that style of Counter-Strike anyway, where they were very aggressive and tried to fight for it. It looks like we're going to see something else. AK out of Scream and the rest with upgraded pistols. So not such a bad choice, really, sort of going halfway there. I can appreciate that. I think this is a good idea.
Yeah, I wondered if there was a world where Scream drops 2 AKs and they roll with 3 and have grenades to execute into the site, but they've chosen the conservative route because it is a gamble, and you may let your opponent right back into the game if you take that gamble and lose when they may deem they're having enough success on most of the rounds that it isn't necessary. 4 players starting towards the A site for the T's. Snax going to reposition, doesn't want to get isolated, but he surely hears these players running. He's got to call for backup.
They almost run him down. Great time flashbang, but RPK will still pick up the kill and the AWP, so just a bit of danger lurks over on this side. Flashbang is in once RPK mid-air. Going to be able to take down Taz. That's such an important kill, and suddenly Virtus.pro have to be very careful. They don't want to give up this round at all. XMS is going to be moving closer with the C-set 75 and trying to make a jump to look over the truck. Here's Neo down behind it. The grenade is going to fail. XMS is there to capitalize on that one, and now, do they even go for the retake here? Not sure why XMS is fighting, but Happy's there to follow it up, and now they know where Pasha is as well. He's going to be almost out of bullets. 1 versus 1. Picks up the AK, and on the other side is RPK, who started the whole thing off. He's down on the ramp, and Pasha, he didn't see it. He's got no idea. He's going to try and flick onto it. It goes down to RPK for the triple. What a great round for him. Almost single-handedly doing everything in this round. 16 kills on him.
3K for RPK in that round. An edge shot to finish things off. Such an important round for both sides. RPK with the AWP again. Great shots from him, and that is a big round for Envy. It was a big round for both sides, but it's Envy that came out on top, and considering what they started with as well. 3-round lead, looking to be more here for the French-speaking side. Virtus.pro back on the pistols. Neo's picked up a smoke. I do wonder if it will be one of those late game smokes where they'll try to ruin the timing of Envy yet more.
Yeah, that can definitely happen. What a round, that last one. Snax will get one. The alley with the deagle, that could have easily been a double for Snax. He had plenty of time to get the kill on Scream, but ultimately it will be a 3-on-3. Look at the aggression on the other side. They've got the boost, but they've also got Pasha sneaking through the smoke. Does he see the gun barrel of RPK? He doesn't. So that's a free kill, and now RPK very worried about any more aggression coming out on this side. If Pasha had seen that, that might have just been the opening, but maybe it wasn't showing quite right. And Neo's on the other side, might run into Sixer. He's close enough with the C-set 75 that he could easily get the kill, which would be the bomb down, but he's just waiting it out. There's the chance. Out of bullets, and 7 is what he has left. He can't reload another time, so I think that might have been the one chance there, James.
This is so awkward, though. Do Envy have time to rotate with 40 seconds on the clock? I don't know that they do. So they're kind of forced to go in this direction at the very least, but Bayali, he's split again with his teammate Neo, who's left in isolation with 7 bullets. They need to be golden bullets. Is it a golden gun? It's not this time. Bayali with the AK to try and stop the plant. He's got 25 seconds. The bomb has been thrown. It needs to be collected by someone. RPK going for the plant now. Barley thought it might be maybe towards this side. He's doing good so far. Sixer, close range headshot, only 7 HP. Saves Envy from disaster.
Some of these rounds are just too close on. The fact that Scream actually got that first kill through the smoke, I didn't even realize, but this is a bit outrageous. But it seems like some of these clutches just come out in Envy's favor, and it's given them an 4-round lead here, 8-4. And Virtus.pro, they are back to buying, but we're nearing the end of the half, and I don't know. I still think they've done a pretty good job. I'm actually pretty impressed by how Virtus.pro playing the CT side. I think if they could have just either not lost to the semi-buy or could have not, you know, sort of, if they could have just won one of these clutches, we would have had a different game on our hands, so.
Fast round again from Envy, charging straight in. Look at the timing of those flashbangs. That is absolutely perfect. RPK over 2K. Scream's been picked off, but who cares? They've got the man advantage, the French. Bayali around the drop's got a lot to do, but Sixer is waiting for him. Envy's executes towards the B bomb site. Oh, exquisite. You might even say parfait.
I mean, this is all very quick, and it's not like they've done it every round, but there's been at least 3 rounds where, as I said, it's almost like a rush, but there is actually a setup behind it. They're just so quick at doing it, and it's not just the flashbangs. I mean, those really work, and they especially work this time with the double entry from RPK, but those Molotovs go down everywhere. So Virtus.pro just have no real answer for that, you could tell.
Yeah, those executes are beautiful, they are divine, they are sublime. So 9th round on the board for Envy. Solid stuff from them. Virtus.pro trailing on the CT side. They'll definitely want at least 6 rounds.
Yes. You need that buffer once you go to play on the T side, just in case you lose the pistols. You see both those players completely flashed out, and if there could have been no one on the other side of that box either, because that was all Molotoved off, so they just had a really good setup there. 14th round is coming up. And Virtus.pro, they're gonna go for it. They agree with you, James. They want the 6 rounds. So buying into this round what they can in pistols and upgrade a little bit of armor. Actually, Neo and Pasha are gonna save a bit. Sort of wondering about that. I feel like they should have probably gone for a bit more here.
3 players towards A. Again, Snacks is deep for the time being. He's got Taz in for support. Scream getting taken down from range with the Mag 7. Ooh, Snacks is hungry. Does he go for more though? Sixer backing off. Doesn't want to make it too easy for him, but he's going to charge through, but Sixer's ready for it. I love the hero play. There are guns to be collected here for Virtus.pro. Taz doing more damage. This round has quickly fallen apart for Envy. Mag 7. I can't believe the range of that first kill, but here we are. Sixer, what does he choose to do in a situation? Does he try to save the AWP? Does he try to clutch with the AWP? Does he pick up a rifle if he can?
He's got no idea where anybody else is, and Pasha's walking in right behind him. There's the headshot. Now all he has to do is save the AWP, which looks like he's going to be able to. So what a round. And it's a classic on Cobblestone. Snacks with the Mag 7 over at Long. So many people have fallen victim to this.
Look at the range.
Yeah.
He's not even on the screen.
It's ridiculous.
He's not even on the screen.
See, and the thing is, the pellet spread for that Mag 7 makes it really hard to judge sometimes, because you can get those sort of mid, even almost sometimes long-range shots with it, and sometimes they just go all over the place, so...
When you get one shot from that range with the Mag 7, which has basically got no barrel, you have to be tilted. Snacks using his money for an auto-sniper in this round. This will be a curious approach. He is playing at close quarters through some tiny gaps. In the meantime, Happy's looking for a boost. I think Snacks might have some action sooner rather than later.
And again, nobody else outside of Snacks plays close to the smoke with an auto-sniper. You're meant to use the tremendous distance of Cobblestone to get your kills long range, but he's actually playing right on the edge. This is complete madness.
Yeah, he wants to block people in case there's a push. It is really good for no-scoping as well. He will continue to do that. Taz picking up the 2nd kill. Can't get the 3rd though. 3 on 3. The bomb is moving towards the A site. RPK's on a long rotation. Neo and Barley getting smoked off. Can they get to the balcony in time? Big flashbangs coming over, and that will do the job. X-Mess taken down, as is the bomb.
That's a critical shot from Bialy. Couldn't have had much time to get that kill either, I think. Bit of a failed Molotov. Probably meant to go over and into the stairwell. RPK and Happy, how did they get out of this one? Virtus.pro can wait a long time for those smokes to fade. The bomb hasn't even been planted yet. Happy up on the truck looking for an opening. He's going to see the grenade come out, so he definitely knows. Bit of a giveaway jumping down and making a bit of noise. There's RPK with the 1 kill. Quick refrag leaves Happy in a very awkward position. Now, did they hear the jump down? Because that would have made it very obvious. They seem like they're not quite sure where he is. Hiding in the corner, it comes out with a big headshot to take down Pasha, and now it's a one-on-one. Neo sneaking on the other side. Happy's going to see the shadow on the ground. Does he adjust? Almost not quick enough. Goes for the headshot, but Neo will take him down. And with the kit, he's going to have time for the defuse here as well, so it will be another round here for Virtus.pro. 6 to the 9 of Envy. What a crazy first half. I think Virtus.pro did a really good job, but it could have got worse for Envy, I reckon.
Yeah, it could have, but it did a good job to break Virtus.pro on the important rounds, so that made it a lot more difficult for them to get any further.
Yes, indeed. Now, before we get into the second half, do I remind you, go and check out the Bleacher Report that connects you to the stories, teams, athletes, and moments that matter in sports culture. Download the free Bleacher Report app and stay dialed into the teams and topics you care about the most. Do that. You've got the time in the break. James, what do you make of this first half here? 9-6. Who should be celebrating, apart from those of us watching all the madness that Snacks is doing?
I think it was a great half from Envy. Again, we could have had a few different scores, but I think to Envy's credit, they could have had more than this, and to RPK's credit, he had a massive half for his side. 22 kills, AWP rifles, all kinds of stuff. Every tool in the box he was using. Yeah, the score is 9-6. It could have been 11-4 instead for Envy if Virtus.pro had not won that half by. So Virtus.pro, they got the much needed 6 rounds on the board on the CT side. Considering the score, I think it looked a lot worse in the rounds that Envy won with those executes. And speaking of downloads, they weren't able to download Envy's T side, but perhaps they can do the job now that they are the aggressors.
Well, they do have the purchase of a setup here, and they've got the 2 smokes, flashbangs, and HE, so that suggests that they're going to at least throw some cover smokes, and they've also got a stack over at Yard. They're actually expecting Envy to be aggressive, and wouldn't you look at it, that might be what's coming next. The tower in the corner, but now they're being pushed out. There's Scream getting the kill. The bomb is over here. If Taz goes down, everything is going to fall apart here.
Tower with the bomb. I think they were going for a fake, I suppose, towards the B bomb site, but here we are. Another weird pistol round, 5 versus 3. It's very much in favor of Envy this time. Pasha jumping around, Happy running up, bullets getting picked off. And the weapon is collected, but what do we do now? The CTs have a lot of information and a man advantage. So how do you make the correct play if you're Virtus.pro?
Yeah, right now, for some reason, Envy came out on top. I mean, it looked like one of those rounds, again, just like the previous pistol, that could have gone either way, but now they're in some trouble. They don't have much information. They've already used some of their grenades that they were going to execute with, I think, over at the A side eventually, but this is all very strange. It could come down to a bit of a dice roll, and I would say XMS right now is in a perfect position as long as he stays hidden.
Yeah, RPK and Scream, though, they're moving out of the site. They were his support. He spotted them now. He just needs to hide. RPK and Scream, they can hold the line, and he can pop out as necessary, but he's going to get naded into oblivion. Perfect nade from Virtus.pro. Can they get the bomb down there? They're running out of numbers now. Taz alone versus 3, and there are just too many targets. But he's got the one painted on his back, and he will be taken out by Sixer. So Envy will win the second pistol. Virtus.pro won the first, but they didn't win any consecutive rounds. Again, when the score is 9-6 and you move into the second half, based on a pistol win, you're often looking at 9-9 or 12-6. If it's the latter, you are in a lot of trouble on the T side.
Those grenades are so brutal. I just said that he was in a good position, but definitely not. The reason I made that call, by the way, was just on the fact that Virtus.pro didn't have any Molotovs, which is the normal mechanism for pushing someone out of the chicken coop. But I guess HE's usually work as well.
To Virtus.pro's credit, I think they buy more grenades on their pistol rounds than maybe any other team at top tier, top flight professional Counter-Strike. So I think maybe the purpose of that stack in the pistol was to see players rotate, because most T pistols are terrible from that range. But anyway, here they are on the force buy. All CZs here for the poles. The wall of smokes flying into the site. Will the CTs go beyond the smokes, or will they go for the retake?
It's a great setup for Taz using the whole map there. Snacks will get the refrag on RPK, and Happy trying to charge in. He's going to go down to Pasha. In fact, a lot of fighting, but they've dropped the bomb in the middle of the map here. I mean, they can go and pick it up, but this is going to slow them down a bit. It's also a 3-on-3 with a sizable health advantage for Envy. It's an interesting round, and a shot right through. Well, now it's pretty much done.
I think VP were going for the fake with one lurker towards A and the wall of smokes towards the B bomb site, but Taz getting picked off, carrying the bomb, caused problems. And retaking it, they kind of left stranded in the connector area. Little reason for the CTs to push. Snacks is running around, but there's not really much they can do in this situation. It was a nice idea from Virtus.pro, but they just didn't get the important kills. They were on the receiving end instead. Always up against it, jumping into the angle, being with the CZs and so on. B's got some interesting flashbangs into that angle, but if you're trying to make a fast play, it does take a while to set up. Yeah,
another player that's, I don't know, given us a lot of creative plays over the years, I feel like. Still pretty good at reinventing the game. 11-6, so unlike Virtus.pro, Envy actually able to hold on to their pistol win. Now they can start to make some money. They can be pretty sure Virtus.pro aren't going to have any kind of armor in this round, so those 2 MP9s and the UMP on Happy there should be put to work relatively soon. In fact, the boost up here from Happy, pretty aggressive play.
It's not really hiding the fact he's up there, though. But then it is Happy after all. He doesn't have any shift keys on his keyboard a lot of the time. He will make his exit. No need to outstay his welcome. although he was in a strong position, but you never know what Virtus Pro have in mind. That will waste some time for Virtus Pro while they try to establish if anyone is still up there or not. Scream and Six are moving around A, but not really, they're not overextending. They don't want to take things too far. And I wonder if Virtus Pro are just using this time to maybe have a chat together, because...
Yeah, it looks like it. Snacks is terrorizing the exhibition part of this map, just breaking all the glass.
He's a vandal.
Who's going to pay for it, James? Probably not Virtus Pro, they don't have the money.
Indeed. Sixer trying to drop his smoke just in time. He can dance around it. Ooh, maybe he needs to move back. Doesn't want to give up this M4. They don't have any Kevlar, but there's no need. The cavalry's here. RPK with the MP9. Jumping through the smoke like it's Chuck Norris, but he won't be that successful. So that is an unnecessary expense, but...
It's so ridiculously unnecessary. There's just no need to do that. They knew where he was. There were going to be 3 more players there with full health, or he could have just reloaded and saved, wait for the smoke to go away.
I think it's fair to say that it was an inefficient play from RPK. Interestingly, I think Neo's shadow was showing before he was emerging from the smoke.
Yeah, that could be true. There's still some weird stuff that happens around smokes. Even after all these years, it's hard to figure out. Everyone's hope is that Source 2 engine will be better equipped to handle it. Who knows? Neo is looking around over at the A side of the map, just trying to figure out something. Look at the investment for Envy. 3 men over here. That to me says they've been looking at VP's demos, because otherwise this is a really big risk.
One thing I wanted to mention earlier as well is that, you know, people say, what is the solution for Virtus Pro and so on and so forth, but I do wonder if there's like a dedicated analyst who just looks at opponents, because I still think it's something which is quite lacking for most teams, where it's like, these guys like to do this. If you do this, this guy's probably going to do that.
Yes.
So on and so forth, because that also helps, especially on the T sides.
It does, especially if you get some of those sort of reads that people don't even know about. The tells, I think, is poker terminology, right? That could be pretty, I think, handedly adapted to Counter-Strike. RPK will get the kill on Snacks, so that's a good way to get started. Snacks was even very patient there for a while, dancing around the issue, but now, with Bialy being this low, they've got to be very careful. Envy haven't even sort of gone for a full investment. They've kept the UMP and the MP9 from the previous round, so this is dangerous.
And so is the time for Virtus Pro on a subject of low. They do not have much of it. Scream is going to be in a position to flank these players as Sixer tries to retreat to the site and join Happy, who's just jumped off the balcony. It's a complete gamble for Virtus Pro. Speaking of which, Happy is going to go for the good old flashbang in the smoke. Out he comes, straight into the rifle of Neo, who's got himself 2 kills, but he still has to plant the bomb. They're eliminating, though, all the CT. Scream, is he the man to stop this from happening? Has he got the bullets? He has! Scream's going massive! And RPK will finish things off. What a crazy finish to this round.
I mean, as soon as they make themselves known over at that A side, the round should have been done almost immediately. The fact that it was down to a 2-on-2 is almost insane, but it did work out in the end for Envy. They're going to be excited. You could even, I think, hear the war cry going on in the background. 13-6 here, and they've won 4 in a row. Here in the second half, Virtus Pro just don't have the economy to keep up with this. They've gone for a half-buy just to give themselves a chance. But right now, Envy, they're well on their way to winning this map.
Yeah, you heard the screams. They knew how crucial that round was.
Look at this setup. 3 men throwing grenades from T-spawn. That's not something you see every day. Usually people throw a grenade while they're running from here, and it's just 1 grenade that's going to land in the site. But this is going to be a pretty big rain of grenades. The whole wall being put down, smoking off the doorway over at B. And it looks like they're all going to end up in drop. So this is the classic cutting off of the bomb site. Envy.
Yeah, but Envy have RPK and Scream in a connected area, so it's almost as if they are expecting this play. Scream is there if RPK goes down. RPK goes down, and there is Scream to clean up. Running out of bullets, though. Taz gets the kill, so the fake is on. Taz and Neo moving into the site. Sixer has positioned himself essentially now for a flank with Xmas and Happy joining him through connector. But he's got Pasha waiting with an AK.
This is a wild round for Virtus Pro. Pasha, I think that was the big opening. He had to get that kill. He definitely could have. Now his team is in trouble. Neo's only got the C-set behind the wall, and on the site itself, Taz just too many angles. He ends up going down. Neo's been found out as well. And that's going to be the round for Envy. Looked like Virtus Pro could have done more, and I think Pasha maybe let his team down a bit then on the stairwell. That could have been a little bit better, but I'm kind of shocked that it even went that far. It looked like, as you said, it looked like Envy had a pretty good read on that situation.
Yes, Envy seem well studied. Again, as we were talking with analysts and so on, if they do this, then they're probably going to do that. It seems that Envy know what that is likely to be as far as these executes are concerned from Virtus.pro. 8-round lead, a monster start for Envy here this week at ELEAGUE in Atlanta. Both teams back on the bye, though.
It does help that RPK has almost 30 kills, and we're in the 21st round now. I mean, how do you account for that? He was, if people are not aware of the history, in Source, maybe the best Source player of all time. So you should think about that when you're watching him play here. Scream, that gun barrel showing a lot, and yet he gets the kill. And Sixers there on the crossfire as well. RPK with a headshot on Bialy, and the whole round comes to a halt here for Virtus.pro. The no-scope not working out, and it will be 15 rounds for Envy. Well, I mean, that's just disappointing. I feel like it's doubly disappointing if you're a Virtus.pro losing a round like that, because you don't even learn anything, right? It's not like you learned anything crazy about their setup that you can exploit in the future rounds, although it's still that 3-man setup over at long here, which is, to me, crazy for Envy. I haven't seen that used except as sort of particular counter-strand against certain teams, but they seem to do it a lot.
Envy 1 round away from being on the box tonight on TBS. 5 AKs for the Virtus.pro side, and it seems it may be a faster round from them. 3 players moving towards the plateau. The CTs will hear them. The CTs are blind, but there are fire. There's flames, and Virtus.pro are moving through it. Happy has angled himself around the smoke. Would you expect anything less? He knows his positioning, even though he's blind, to move into the smoke and back out of it again. Coming in from the back, Xmas and Happy finding the kills. Happy with the 180. Can't get the next one though onto Taz.
Brilliant play from Happy, though. Pasha now alone and then caught in the corner. No bomb, and he's going to go down to RPK, and that will be Envy moving on to play live on TBS at 10.